You are officially an incinerator. Welcome to Incense and Common Sense. We do here on YouTube. I would love you guys and girls to become active citizens. Y'all already know how to do that. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. I hope everybody's having a great day. Give everybody a couple minutes to get into the room. As you come in, make sure you hit the likes button, all that good stuff. If you're watching from outside of America or you're new to America, drop me in the comment section. Let me know where you're from so I can shout your country out. This is a worldwide movement, and we like to have these discussions not only for people here, but around the world, but people from around the world that plan on coming to America. This is the book that you need. This is the audio version. You ain't got to read these long, drawn out things. So appreciate everybody. Give everybody a couple minutes to pile up in the room. So, hope everything's going good. Like I said, also, if you would like to advertise on the channel, all right, we got Nola in the house, 504. If you like to advertise on the channel, have products reviews, hit me in the comment section on the replays and let me know. I'll get in touch with you and see what we can come about. So, give everybody a couple minutes because we're going to have a discussion about this. Because I heard about it when it first happened, but I didn't react because I was waiting. I was waiting to hear more about this. And we're just going to have this discussion. So give everybody a couple minutes to get in the room. As a matter of fact, while y'all doing that, let me go get me something to drink. Sorry about that, everybody. Oh shit, we got 23 people in here. Make sure all y'all hit the likes. That should be 23 likes. Okay, well, we're back to 10. We may have 10 likes. Definitely. Yeah, and that's why I wanted to have the discussion about this particular thing because it's a lesson that I think when we finish with this, all sensible people will be able to agree on a couple of things about this. I might have to reference some other things that may ruffle some feathers, but it's the point. Because you guys and girls know here at the Alert Zone TV, we the nutritious channel. We call it right down the middle. I don't ever want to seem biased. We talk about the law and we take your feelings out of it. Because sometimes your feelings can get you in trouble or your feelings can make you make a decision that may actually come back and haunt you. So, this is a situation that is real messy. It's legally complicated, and that's why I wanted to talk about it because of the legal ramifications. All right, we're just about to that time. Got 8 people in here. Make sure you get them likes up. Let's go ahead on and get the thing started. So, for those of you guys and girls who don't know or haven't heard, there was a situation that happened in Kansas City. I'm not sure if it's the Missouri or the Kansas side. Forgive me. But a guy wind up killing two people, two brothers. I had yeah. I had saw this when it first happened. You know, it came across my feed. I didn't respond right away because I didn't have all of the information. I know the family had questions. I just wanted to see. In this day and age, there's cameras everywhere. So today, this morning when I went to get my truck from the shop, the feed came across, and the actual video. I got to see the actual video of before. So as they're coming up the street, I'm gonna give you guys and girls who haven't seen the video yet the scenario. Apparently, some words was exchanged because as drivers we do that. We scream and shout at each other. That happens across the planet. It ain't just here in America, but. And what they rode side by side, I'm pretty sure they was pointing fingers and yelling obscenities at each other. It wasn't, hey, I'm sorry. So at the red light by the gas station, the Escalade turns in, and then the brothers turn in behind him, although they parked first. So from the angle I saw, my assumption is they went in the gas station, and then he came in the gas station. Now, I don't know if he thought, well, he was going to go and say something to these guys, and he was going to have a yap back and forth. And so I said, okay. Some words was exchanged. And the bigger brother hit this fella Hernandez. And okay. The other way around. Okay. Yeah, because he did turn in first. Okay, yeah, they had some kind of words, and the bigger brother hit him and started hitting on him. He ran. Now the news kept saying that both of them, but from the video, we just gonna go strictly off the video and we're gonna go off the law. The brother with the dreadlocks never swung a punch. He had the opportunity to hit this guy when they got to the truck if he wanted to, and he didn't hit him. Maybe he just wanted to split him up. I don't know. Now, under the law, Hernandez didn't have no duty to retreat. When he got to the truck and got his gun, if he had shot that guy right then and there, he probably could have got away with self-defense. Here's the problem under the law. And this is the part that a lot of people let their emotions in the comment section get the best of them. All right, what's going on, Dexter? Man, I appreciate you following through. Everybody, him in a shout out, man. That guy is one of them guys that's been supporting these gun channels for years. I remember seeing his picture and his name before I ever had a channel. Shout out to you, brother Dexter. I appreciate you tuning in. And thank you to everybody that tuned into the channel. But under the law, where people's feelings in the law get misconstrued, Hernandez got his gun out of the car. The brothers went in the store and Hernandez went behind him. What's going on, Carl? When they went in the store, this is my opinion. Now, this little part is my opinion. Hernandez went and got his gun, and he wanted to go and antagonize this bigger brother to hit him now that he got that gun on him. And that's why Hernandez got himself in trouble. He's from the shot where Hernandez gets hit the second time, he's kind of standing to the side of the brother, and they having words. So he's antagonizing him because he got that gun on him. And the brother, he hit him, and Hernandez jumps back and he shoots him. Now, This is where a lot of people got angry at. We're going to just keep it to the law. The slim brother with the dreadlocks wasn't even in the picture when Hernandez killed his brother. So the slim brother wasn't a threat. Also, after the big brother got shot, the other brother turned to run out the store and Hernandez shot him in his back. And then, oh goodness, we almost tore up a gift. That's when you speaking that fire. That's when you telling the truth. That's when you telling the truth. That shit like that happened. But the slimmer brother took off running. Hernandez shot him and killed him. That guy never hit him outside nor in the store. And then Hernandez decided after he killed both of them that he was going to pistol whip the slim brother. Yeah. So that is where, now I don't believe the charge of involuntary manslaughter is enough on the second brother. I don't believe that. I think it should have been at least second degree. They could get him for first degree only because the brother never touched him. The brother wasn't in the front. The first brother got killed and he was fleeing from it. So under the law, he doesn't present a threat because his back is turned and he's running away from you. Now, this is where my opinion about this is. For whatever reason, we were not there. These guys decided to go in this gas station with this guy. It's common for people to have words with each other and go in the same place. That's more common than people think it is. My opinion is Hernandez probably thought they was going to jaw jack to each other and he was going to go about his business. He bit off a little bit more than he can chew. I don't mean that gave the first brother the right to hit him. Yeah. That whatever words they had didn't give the brother the right to hit him. So had he taken care of him in the parking lot, I don't think it would have been that bad. But Hernandez knew he had that gun in that car. And this is to the point where I think the story takes a twist. And this is where the law is going to take over this. Hernandez didn't have a duty to retreat under stand your ground because he could have lawfully been at that gas station. He went and got that fucking gun. And when he went in there, believe me, if he really wanted to avoid the situation, he could have put that pistol on him and went and took care of his business. He went behind him because now he wants this guy to hit him so he can shoot him. And that's my opinion when it comes to the first brother being shot. Now, under the law, yeah. His feelings got hurt, and I'm gonna say this, Whatever words they had that didn't give that brother the right to hit him. If he would have got his gun and shot him in that parking lot, nobody would even have, I think even the family could have accepted that, you know what, he got what he deserved. Because stand your ground, when somebody assaults you, you don't have the duty to retreat, and you do have the right to use up into deadly force. Where this story took the turn is Hernandez got that gun, and then he went in that fucking store. And then he shot the brother that didn't touch him. That is where he made his mistake in. Well, yeah, they would have cried murder, but under the law, Hernandez never would have got in trouble. If he had hit to the vehicle, that was a perfect time to get his gun and do whatever he was going to do then, because the law would have protected him. I'm just telling you that as a law-abiding citizen, as a human, and as seeing the video that I saw, he let his ego get in the way of him making a rational decision. You didn't take care of him in the parking lot. Why the hell you gonna follow him in the store? Let me tell you something. You only get a gun and retrieve a gun for somebody that hit you once because you plan on shooting them. Now what you're gonna do is go in there and you're gonna antagonize them and provoke them. So this time when they shoot you, they hit you, you can shoot them. And that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he went back in there and did. He went and said whatever he said to this guy. And I'm not saying this part is right. He went back in there and said whatever he said to this guy because he knew this guy was going to hit him again. And when he waited, he provoked this guy to hit him and then hurried up and pulled his gun out and he shot him. He went back in there for that. He went looking for trouble. Initially, I don't think he did. Yeah, he was outnumbered and he was undersized, and I understand that. I'm saying in this particular situation, this is one of them times where you have to ask yourself, do you live and let live? Because one thing we do know about criminal charges always can be upgraded. Yes, I understand that, pause and play. I'm not saying he didn't have a right to be in the gas station. What I'm saying is, after the initial fight, well, it wasn't a fight. After the initial beatdown, he should have taken care of business in the parking lot. He went and got his gun. They went in the store and he went in that store behind him. And this is where the story took the turn. And my opinion about that part is he went and got his gun and he decided, now I'm going to go ahead and start something with him again. This time if he hit me, I'm going to kill him. And then I'm going to scream self-defense. That in Oklahoma, shout out to the state of Oklahoma, because they made their law very, very direct. In Oklahoma, that would have been murder under the new law. Not because of the first confrontation, but because of the second. Because whatever happened, they had a mutual argument in the first incident in the parking lot. Once the brothers walked in the store and Hernandez got his gun and went in that store behind him, now on the tape, you can see Hernandez technically is not the aggressor because he didn't throw the punch. But he stirred the pot because he wanted this guy to hit him so he can look for a reason to shoot him and then scream self-defense. Now look at that. 3 lives are ruined. The brother is dead. The other brother is dead, and Hernandez is possibly going to go to prison. And the problem Hernandez have, and the grand jury, to my understanding, the reason they indicted him is the second brother was never a threat to him on video. And the second brother, after he shot the first one, took off running. And he ran him down, and he shot him, and then he stood over and he pistol whipped him. See, this is why I say you need the nutritious channel like this. And you need the younger people. Sometimes you may not like my verbiage, but believe me, some of y'all children out there cuss better than I do. You may not always like the verbiage, but had he came to this channel, he would have known whatever issue they had to don't even go get in that guy's face. Now, I'm about to ruffle some feathers. I know I am. Because, you know, there are certain names and certain things you can't talk about. You see how the bigger brother put his hands on that guy, and that guy took him off the planet? And was justified in so, even though I think he antagonized and egged the situation on. But let's just say this. I'm going to be honest. pause and play. My personal opinion, I don't think the first altercation Hernandez thought was gonna go the way it went. I think he probably thought they was gonna jaw jack to each other and go on about their business. I think the second altercation was premeditated. I think Hernandez decided that this motherfucker punched me in my face. I can't beat him. And then it's two of them. So maybe if I start fighting with him, the brother might jump in. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. But my gun is the great equalizer. I got a right to have this gun and I got to stand your ground. Now I'm going to provoke him to hit me so I can shoot him and then scream self-defense. That's not the way stand your ground works. You can't have an altercation, the altercation be over, and then you go and start an altercation and then scream you was afraid. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of people don't understand these stand your ground laws, and they don't understand how they're interpreted and prosecuted. Second time, he decided, yeah, I'm gonna go in this store, and like I said, the brother, the big brother, he's kind of standing behind him saying something to him. So he went back. That tells me he went in that store to say something to him. And I mean, whatever he said to him, because we don't know. If he threatened him, we don't know because there's no words. But let's just go on to the law. Hernandez didn't throw the first punch. Now I'm talking about specifically in the store. Hernandez didn't throw the first punch. Under the First Amendment, he has the right to free speech. Now, I don't know if he threatened the guy. Whatever he said to this guy, once this guy hit him, under the law, Hernandez can use deadly force. Here was Hernandez's problem. He had already planned on probably killing both of them, which is why he shot the brother that was fleeing. The Slim brother didn't touch him one time. That's on video. That much we can prove. The Slim brother didn't hit him at all. And when the first brother got shot, the Slim brother wasn't even standing in the video frame. So, and then, not only do you shoot him, but you pistol whip this guy and you stand over both of them. Yeah, under the law, that don't work like that. It don't work under the law. I just think that involuntary manslaughter on the second brother, I think the charges should be higher only because that dude never put a hand and that dude was fleeing. It's not involuntary when the guy is running from you. You're not in, he's already towards the exit. It's not involuntary when that guy is already running from you and he's never been a threat to you under the law. So I just think that them were soft charges. But is a tale of to the dead brother, the big brother. It's not always worth punching people in the mouth. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. You don't live in a time where guys will square up with you anymore. You punched this guy in his face for whatever reason, and you got away with it the first time. You didn't think. This goes to show just how, from the neck up, some of these guys out and girls out here don't have a functioning fucking brain. They always teach you when you're young. If you kick somebody's ass and humiliated them, and they leave and they come back, you better assume they have something. Because if they can't beat you the first time, yeah. We was taught that. If you kick somebody's ass on this corner and they go home and they come back, They're not coming back to fight you empty-handed. You just might not see what they have. They might have a knife. They might have a gun. They might have a stick. No telling what they have. The big brother, you just bust this guy in his mouth out there and put hands on him. You know he can't do nothing with you. And then he goes and he comes in the store behind you. Your antenna should have went up. Nah, this motherfucker got something on him. There's no way I just did him what I did him outside and he's back for more already. He's got something on him. This is what happened when you get emotional and you don't use up here. Yep, he was overconfident. And Mystical said it best. Not even Bruce Lee could whoop a bullet ass. So, I just want everybody out there to understand something. So I read the comment section. And of course, because Hernandez is, I'm assuming Hispanic, because he has a Hispanic last name and he looks it. Because these guys are black, I saw the black fatigue comments and all this of, well, he shouldn't have never hit that guy and this and that, because whatever the guy told him, it wasn't worth him hitting him and da da da. He should have kept his hands to himself. Fine. That's true. He never should have hit Hernandez. And I'm going to say this in the sense of, in this day and age, what they say, he fucked around and found out. He got what he was looking for. Because he hit somebody under the pretense that the person wasn't going to do him nothing back. Here's my rebuttal to that. Some of these very same people, because I keep an eye on names, when the whole Carmelo Anthony situation happened, said he should have never killed that guy. Even though that guy put his hands on him first. See? You see how that worked? See, self-defense got to be across the board. The law is supposed to be written blindly. And it's supposed to be interpreted blindly. See, this was justifying defending himself. And then say, yeah, I look, when they were outside and the big brother hit Hernandez and Hernandez took off running and the big brother went behind him and the slim brother went behind him, I'm assuming the slim brother went behind him to stop him because the slim brother could have attacked him when they got to the truck. And he didn't do him nothing. In the store, the slim brother is not even in the frame. So my assumption is, from what I saw, Hernandez just figured, well, if I start fist fighting with the big brother, the other one gonna jump in. At the end of the day, it's a bad situation, and it's gonna have, when we talk about feelings, I don't think no two people is gonna feel the same about this situation. There are always, some of us are gonna find a difference in opinion about this. I just say this. This is an example of when a whole bunch of people don't use their brains and a firearm is involved. And that's the moral, basically, of this whole thing. For whatever happened on the street, that they were jaw-jacking to each other. Like I said, we don't have the audio, so Hernandez goes in the gas station, and they go behind him. Now, you're right, the tape did show that, Candy Coach, that Hernandez turned right, they was in the left lane, and they turned behind him. I don't know who was driving the brother's car. Nevertheless, just in hindsight and watching the video, you punch a guy in the face, he runs from you, you run behind him, and then you go in the store and this guy comes behind you, you better assume that he went in there and got something. Yep. Keep your hands to yourself. And that right there, to me, is what, on top of them already having whatever little heated discussion they had, the first punch threw this whole thing in motion. After the first punch was thrown, it threw this whole thing in motion. Because now you didn't punch me, you didn't assaulted me. We got stand your ground laws here. I don't got my gun on me. Like I said, I'm going to give Hernandez the benefit of the doubt on the one thing. I don't think when he got out of his vehicle, he thought that they were going to have an actual fist fight. I think he thought they were going to jaw jack each other because he probably would have got out with the gun on him. You know what? That right there would be, I think that would clear a lot of this up. The audio. We don't have the audio. We don't know what Hernandez told told this guy, or what these guys told Hernandez. We don't know. I don't know if somebody almost hit somebody or somebody cut somebody off. As a matter of fact, yesterday, literally, me and the guy, his bumper was literally this close to my front door. I was going to take care of something, and the guy was on his phone. I was on the street where I didn't have to stop. He had a stop sign. He looked down, and then he took off. And it's a good thing I was watching him, so I hurry up and turned the car, and we both jammed brakes enough where he didn't hit me. Got out, looked, he didn't hit me. I let that be that. He kept telling me he was sorry, and I'm like, just pay attention, bro, because that could have been bad. It happens. We get cut off. I drive a truck for a living. I'll be a liar if I told you guys I haven't been behind the wheel of a truck and screamed and hollered and called people stupid motherfuckers and all that. And I'm pretty sure people have done it, called me stupid motherfuckers before. You know what I mean? Yeah. It could have been bad because he would have hit me on my driver's side. The only thing would have saved me is I'm in the 84 Riviera, you know what I'm saying? So I'm in an old metal car. That would have saved me. He'd have tore his little Ford up. I probably would have had a little dent in the door, and his Ford, the whole front bumper, the grill, everything would have been sitting on the fucking ground. But sometimes you have to live and you have to let live. And as I always say when it comes to self-defense, the aggressor doesn't get to tell the victim how to react. I can't slap you in the face and then tell you, now you should slap me in the face back, and then that be that. It don't work that way. You guys and girls know I've talked about this, the whole Cincinnati debacle, when the video came out. The assumption was that these people were minding their business and they got attacked. Then the next assumption was, well, he called this guy the N-word. That's why this guy beat him up. And then the video actually came out. Now, he didn't get slapped for calling this guy out of his name. He got slapped for putting his hands on this guy. And all hell broke loose. See, once again, the perpetrator telling the victims how to react. You don't get to do that. In this case, one brother decided to punch this guy in the face for whatever reason. Like I said, I don't know what he told him. I'm pretty sure they jaw-jacked, and I guess for whatever reason. This is what happens during confrontations. But I wanted everybody to understand that. As far as Hernandez not being charged for the big brother, as much as I personally don't like it, because of the circumstances, under the law, I can understand it. Now, the second brother, I think he should have been charged with murder for the second brother, only because the second brother never hit him, and the second brother didn't pose a danger to him at all. He shot somebody that was fleeing. He shot somebody running from him. And then afterwards, he decided then this is where I think it was premeditated. He decided he was gonna pistol whip him after he shot them. Now that right there to me is something that was planned. Premeditation doesn't mean you plan a crime for 2 or 3 weeks. When you leave a fight and go to retrieve a weapon and come back under the law, that's considered premeditation. We just talking about the law. I'm just gonna keep it lawful. I'm not gonna racialize it. I'm not gonna put my personal feelings under the law. I think he should have been charged with murder of the second brother. Just because the guy never put his hands on him, number one, and number two, the guy was fleeing when he shot him. The guy didn't see his brother get shot and approach the gunman. He was running from him. Under the law, yeah, he should have been charged with murder for that. Only because this guy is fleeing from him. And unfortunately, we don't have audio, so we won't never really know the full context of everything that happened. The sad part is this is not over. Besides all the court cases and things like that, besides all the court and the trial and what have you, and the possibly guilty plea or entering a plea or whatever, now Hernandez has to worry about retaliation. And that's another component to this. Because there's going to be people that are going to feel like, especially for the second brother, didn't have to shoot him. Because the second brother in both videos never put his hands on him. And they're going to want revenge. To me, the first brother, under the law, and not only under the law, but under the law of keeping your hands under the teachings of keeping your hands to yourself. Unfortunately, whether you like the response or not, he got what he deserved. We live in a time where everybody has a gun. Also, we live in a time where ain't nobody out here fist fighting no more. So it says a lot about his thinking that you beat this guy in a parking lot that you're twice the size of. Well, I don't want to exaggerate like that, but you clearly got a size advantage over. And he leaves, he goes in his truck, and then he comes back in the store and he gets in a place where he can basically got leverage on you. And he provokes you to hit him so he can shoot you. See? Either you don't hit this guy the first time, and even so, the second time, assume that he fucking got something on him. And because you thought you was gonna pull what you pulled the first time in the parking lot, it cost you your life. And it cost your brother his life. You gotta think when you out here, man. You gotta think. Sometimes it's just not worth it. Sometimes it's just not worth punching somebody in the mouth over. Number one, because everybody has a damn gun. You're supposed to assume that. Number two, we don't live in a time where dudes fist fight anymore. I mean, I don't understand how many people don't understand that no more. We don't live in that time no more where dudes get down here fist fighting. These road rage incidents, in this day and age, social media is everywhere. So you can't say the news is putting false narratives out there. Social media is everywhere. And all you see is incidents of road rage. And it always ends the same way. Somebody getting shot or stabbed. So you already know if this guy, y'all followed him to the gas station. All right, we got Dr. T in the building. If y'all followed him to the gas station, and then he had the balls to come up to two of y'all, he got his ass kicked the first time. You better assume if he went in that truck, he got something. You know what? In this day and age, man, it's just not worth it. It's not worth finding out. It's just not worth finding out. And I just thought that this was the prime example of somebody trying to use stand your ground as a shield because of something that they personally felt and it failed. And it only failed because it's on video. That's the thing you got to take into consideration. There's video everywhere you go. Like I said, personally, my personal opinion is after the first confrontation in the parking lot, Hernandez made up his mind he was going to look for a reason to shoot these guys. Which is why he retrieved his weapon. He didn't have a duty to leave the gas station. That part I understand. You go in the gas station with these guys, and from the video you can tell he approached them. They didn't approach him in that store. He went up to the bigger brother, not the other way around, and said whatever he said, because whatever he told the big brother in that store, he told him outside. And he fucking repeated it. That way, I can get you on video punching me in the face so I can shoot you and scream self-defense. And that's exactly what he was planning on getting away with. Then his emotions got the best of him, and he decided, I'm going to shoot the little brother too. And then I'm going to pistol whip him. That has premeditation written all over. Now, I did see something in the comment section about jury nullification, and you got to find a jury that'll convict him. Well, that part of the process I don't have no control over. But when it comes to self-defense, you guys and girls got to understand something. You have to be careful how you approach people, and you have to be careful how people approach you. There's no way I would have kicked his ass in that parking lot, and he came back in that store after he done went to his truck, and he starts again. I'm going to assume he has something. It's two of us and it's one of him. He didn't stand in the parking lot and throw hands. Yeah, he got cold cocked and he took off running. He didn't turn around and stand up and start fist fighting. So in my mind, he already knows you can't beat him. Growing up how I grew up, we always knew if somebody's got their ass kicked and said, I'll be back, yeah, they're going to get something or somebody. Period, point blank. You don't ever assume that somebody left and came back to a fight and they came empty-handed. You don't assume that. And unfortunately, the bigger brother, I guess he assumed I'm going to kick his ass or I'm going to punch him in his face again. And, like I said, to me, this is why I say the murder of the Slimmer brother was premeditated. Yeah, that tunnel vision. To me, the fact that he went back in that store with that gun and went to the brother and said whatever he said to him to get him to hit him, and then immediately he jumps back and he pulls the gun out and he starts shooting. That shows you that that's what his intention was. He went back in there looking for that. Now the law protected him because he didn't throw the first punch. So technically, under the law, he's innocent of the murder of the bigger brother. My issue is with the second brother. He never presented a threat, and he's running away from me. If somebody breaks in my home right now, and they turn around and start going out of the window, I can't shoot them in the back because they're going to say they didn't present a threat to me. I don't like the fact that they broke in my house, but they're going to say they don't present a threat to me. I don't like it no more than you do, but I understand it's the law. And that's what I wanted to just talk about this from a lawful perspective. I think the charges should have been more, but I do understand why they didn't charge him for the first brother, but they charged him for the second brother. Because the second brother never posed a threat to him. Yeah, it's two incidents. And like I said, after the first incident, had he got to that truck and came out of that truck shooting, he would have been justified. Because they still in the parking lot, even though the brother is not going upside of his head no more, it's still in the heat of the altercation. But once you let them leave and go inside the store, the altercation is over. And then you go in the store behind the one brother because you know he's gonna hit you. And you're gonna tell him whatever you told him outside. He's gonna hit you. And like I said, the video just shows it all. He says whatever he says, and as soon as he get hits, he hurry up and jumps back and starts shooting. Because that was his plan. I'm gonna go get my gun and let that motherfucker hit me this time, and I'm gonna fucking shoot him. Okay? He laid a trap that the brother walked both of them into. So I just want everybody to understand something. Know your laws before you try and use them to your advantage. Because Hernandez never thought in a million years he would get arrested for that second brother. Because he thought in his mind, since they're together, yeah, remind you of the Florida handicap spot. The store owner said that guy was known for doing that. He was known for doing that. Go and start shit with people that pull up in that spot. He finally did something to one of these women. Her dude came out there, pushed him, and he shot the dude. And then they wound up giving him 40 years for that. Because what it was is he was looking for somebody to shoot. He was only looking for an opportunity. That may have not been Hernandez initial thought when he got up that morning. I don't think that Hernandez thought he was going to go out and look for a victim. But I think he let his emotions get the best of him. And he let his lack of the stand your ground law get the best of him. And he figured, okay, well, since he hit me once, I'm going to go and start another incident. And then I'm going to wind up shooting both of them. Well, guess what? Yeah, we can both go to jail if you rob the bank and I take off running with you. But in a situation like this, yeah. Yep. Yeah. And that right there is the problem. Hernandez felt I'm going to get my great equalizer. Now I got the balls to go back and tell this guy what I want to tell him because I know he's going to punch me. I'm going to coach him into his own death. And that's exactly what happened. And like I said, we'll follow this case. We'll see if he pleads out or, excuse me, if he pleads out or if they're going to convict him or if they're going to up the charges. Yeah, man, it's 7-5, Mr. 5-7 by 28. It was a whole sad, tragic incident that didn't have to happen. First off, they didn't have to follow him in that gas station, although they might have been both of their initial destinations. I don't know. But from the time the first altercation happened, you can tell that was mutual, that they were saying something to each other. It looked like Hernandez approached them. I could be wrong. I have to go back and rewatch it. Nevertheless, the lawyer that spoke on the case, I'm glad he spoke on it from a legal perspective that there was two separate incidents. And what got him in trouble was the second incident inside the store. Because the brother didn't pose a threat to him. The brother never put his hands on him. I don't know if the brother ever threatened him, but he never put his hands on him. He was never close enough to put his hands on him. And at the end of the day, when the shooting started, the brother took off running and he decided to gun him down. And then stand over him and pistol whip him. That right there don't look good on Hernandez. Because you already killed him, and you're going to pistol whip him, you're going to shoot him, and then you're going to pistol whip him and stand over him. So, you know what? I'll tell you this. I'm not real technical, but I'll do it the best way I can. If you guys don't mind, I'll do it from my phone. Let me see. Give me just a second. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. Um, this is gonna be fair use.
It's terrible. The whole thing is just awful. But it is the law.
Well, Fox 4 obtained some new video showing more of what led up to a deadly gas station shooting. A grand jury recently indicted Emmanuel Hernandez in one of 2 shooting deaths. I'm Bria Leff.
I'm John Holt. It returned the same charges of voluntary manslaughter and armed criminal action. But the family of the brothers who were shot and killed question why the charges aren't murder. Fox 4's Dave DeMarco live at the Jackson County Courthouse tonight with the video you'll see only on Fox 4. Dave.
Fair use. Fair use.
And I showed that video today to an attorney not involved in this case for his legal analysis of Missouri's Stand Your Ground law and its potential application here. Family of Taylor and Byron Garrett say shooting last month at a Truman and Brooklyn gas station was the result of road rage. Probable cause statements make no mention of it, but video obtained by Fox 4 found in the case seems to show Emmanuel Hernandez's silver Escalade and the Garrett's black Escape in close proximity on the roads for at least 3 minutes before the Escape made a turn after the Escalade at 12th and Brooklyn. The Garrett brothers arrived at the gas station first, and once Hernandez started towards the convenience store, surveillance video shows words briefly exchanged and the taller brother striking Hernandez and both men chasing him back towards his car.
Wow. Wow. Back to back twice.
Attorney Dan Ross says what happened outside the gas station is certainly important.
So that's a prior incident. And so that's kind of the history of, even though it's a history that's only 30 seconds old.
And under Missouri law, Emmanuel Hernandez didn't have a duty to retreat after the brothers left him at his SUV with his driver's side door open. Once inside, after appearing to argue, Taylor Garrett strikes Hernandez again, and Hernandez immediately pulls a gun from his waistband and starts firing, chasing after both men. Prosecutor Melissa Johnson said evidence showed that Taylor was the initial aggressor in the confrontation, and Hernandez acted in self-defense. But she did file voluntary manslaughter charges in Byron Garrett's death, pointing out Hernandez shot him as he tried to retreat, then pistol whipped him as he stood over both men's bodies on the gas station floor.
There is no clear answer to this. That's why you really enlist the jury to tell us, is this lawful action? It's the judge can't tell anybody. The prosecutor has made the charge. The grand jury has brought in the true bill. But eventually, if it goes to trial, the jury will tell us, especially given the self-defense law and the instruction, they'll tell us whether this was a lawful act by the defendant.
And Hernandez posted $5,000 bond. John, he's due in court here on August 26th.
Explain to me, Rougie ads?
Sorry, everybody. I know it's not the most technical. I know we're not the most innovative channel, but I hope you guys and girls got the gist of that. So, like I said, yeah. And that was my whole thing about the second incident. Whatever happened in that first incident, he said something, and this is where wishful thinking. I wish we had all of the audio. Apparently, he said something enough to get punched in the face. Now we don't know if he threw a threat out or I'll be honest, I'm gonna just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. More than likely, he called them guys a bunch of niggas, because that seems to be the word of choice in America. I'm making the assumption, everybody. This is just my assumption about that. But he said something that this guy punched him in his face. The second incident, you're going to go in the store with a guy you just got in a fight with and stand behind him with your gun. This is where I feel like it was premeditated. The second incident. You're gonna get in a fight with somebody. You don't have a duty to leave. Understand that. You're gonna retrieve your firearm. You're gonna go in the store, and you're gonna stand behind this guy, and you're gonna say something to him, cause that's what he did. As you guys can see the video, you might have to watch it on your own device, so you can see it better. But yeah, he to me, the second incident, he provoked that incident. Because he probably told him in that store whatever he told him outside again. So this guy can punch him and he can hurry up and go ahead and shoot him. I'll give you guys a scenario. Some years back, man, before I moved up here, there was a guy I had an incident with. We had some words one day, and it almost turned into fisticuffs. And then it almost turned into Players Prevail. Probably 2-3 months later, back when Esplanade Shopping Mall was still a shit. I was in Esplanade. You guys know I love Ralph Lauren. I had my nephews with me, and my two sons. Well, my oldest son was with me. And we were in Dillard's. Bought a couple things. I seen this particular guy. Well, he just happened to be in the store before me, and he was in the line. So what I did was I went to the other side of the men's section to avoid a confrontation. He paid for his stuff, and he walked like he was leaving out of the store. There was a couple people ahead of me. I walked and I paid. Well, as I was paying, apparently he was standing in the store watching me because I wasn't looking at him anymore. And he made his way to come back towards me. Now, because I had my son, my nephew's with me, and I had my pistol under my shirt, I just let him go ahead on and go by, but I knew what he was coming for. He was looking for a confrontation, is what he was doing. This is the type of stuff I tell people. Sometimes you gotta live and let live. I let it be, and then, he sent a couple threats or what have you. My son and my nephews thought it was funny because I didn't back down. But I didn't antagonize him because I had a gun on me. This dude, for a fact, I know is a convicted felon. So if he had something on him, we could have made a scene. He would have went to jail. But I just decided that this wasn't the place and the time to do this. But to show everybody, yeah, I'm human too. Yeah, I've had times I've gotten angry and things have happened. But I've also had occasions where I've went to other parts to try and avoid a confrontation. I didn't go ahead and say, yeah, let him say something to me so I can knock his brains out. I said, nah, we ain't here. We in the store. I didn't come here looking for trouble. We not even in Orleans Parish. We in Jefferson Parish. He's already paying. Let me go to the other side and just wait. So we don't get close to each other and nobody say nothing to each other. And he went on about his business, so I thought, like I said, got my turn in line and started paying, ringing stuff up. And as I'm doing that, I notice out of the corner of my eye, I see somebody coming this way. And as I'm paying and getting my receipt, it's him. So I already knew what he wanted me to do. Now, if I step out in his aisle, he gonna bump me and we got a problem. I have underage kids with me. It's not smart to get into something with somebody that I have bad blood with like that in front of him. In a public place, I know I'm strapped. I'm assuming he is. A lot of things can go wrong. I just decided to live this particular time, live and let live. He went on by me. He gave me that look, probably mumbled something under his breath. I just looked at him and let him go about his business. And as I saw him going, when I seen him go out the store, I went the opposite way, just to avoid the problem. I didn't leave right away, even though I wanted to. I gave him 30 minutes to leave the shopping mall, just in case he seen my car parked out there. See, I did that just to try and avoid a particular situation, because I could have acted a fool like that, and I could not be sitting here talking to y'all, or I could be telling y'all I had to put the dude 6 feet under. This is what I'm talking about. Sometimes as men, we have to make split-second decisions, and sometimes live and let live. And it was better because this same guy, probably 6 months later, got caught, had dope on him, and they gave him 20 fucking years in jail. See? When you do right, you get your reward. Sometimes it may not come fast. It may not even come in the form that you wanted. I won at the end. Yep. It just wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it because I knew this guy's reputation. But the last time when we almost had this clash, that put him on notice to let him know mine. And I think it bothered him the way we had these words, because a lot of the people that was standing out there was terrified of him. And I think that bothered him. You know, I bruised his little ego. I'm not going to tell you that I'm fucking Wild Bill Hickok or Billy the Kid, or I'm some kind of fucking wild gunslinger. But I don't start shit. I don't go looking for shit. But I let him know, you don't fuck with me. You don't fuck with me. Yeah. And pause and play. You from New Orleans, but I know this is not exclusive to New Orleans. The worst thing you can have is a man that feel like he got played in front of a bunch of people, especially a bunch of people that's terrified of him. That motherfucker will come for you. That one will take your life. That one will take your life right there. And what I knew, yeah, and what I knew is when we had these particular words, I knew he didn't have nothing on him that particular night. That I knew. I knew that for a fact. So it was going to be just fisticuffs. Yeah. Well, since I brought the subject up, I'll tell you guys and girls a little bit about my younger life. Back when I was a wild fella, there would be certain people in the city of New Orleans, and I'm pretty sure it happened in probably wherever you lived. Certain people, their reputation precedes them. You know about them long before you ever actually know them or see them. And when you come into a particular area where you know they're known to frequent, you want to know who that particular person is in case you ever have an issue with them. In New Orleans back in the days when they was talking about smashing or head busting or murking or whatever the term was at that time, there were certain guys and girls, their reputations preceded them. You wanted to know who they were, because if you got into it with them, you knew you had to hurry up, and it wasn't going to be too much of this. They would jaw jack with you. Once they see you wouldn't back down from them, you let them leave and come back. Wig splitting, yeah. You let them leave and come back, you can forget it. And some of them, the only time they will go word for word with you is if they knew they had that thing on. So there were certain people throughout my life. There was one guy in particular, I won't say his name here because he's already passed on. When I moved in the Florida Project, I'm from uptown, he from downtown. His reputation had already preceded him. I had already heard quite a few stories about this guy. So I knew I wanted to know who he was. Not because I wanted to meet him. I just wanted to know what he looked like. I wanted to know what he drove, what he looked like. That way, if I ever had words with him, I knew how to deal with him. And I knew if he ever said something smart to me, to assume he got it on me. Funny story about this guy. His reputation preceded him so much to the point that he had an incident in a barbershop. Argument about the damn Rams. When Marshall Faulk played for the greatest show on turf. For those of you who don't know, when Marshall Faulk played in the NFL, he was damn near bigger than Jesus in the Ninth Ward in New Orleans. They revered that dude. They revered him. They loved Marshall Faulk because he was from the Ninth Ward. So an argument broke out in the barbershop with this particular guy and another guy. And the other guy was saying that he didn't think the Rams was going to win or something. So this particular guy decides he's going to get up and he's going to go and do this to this other guy. But he didn't have that gun on him. But his reputation precedes him. So he figured he was going to live off his reputation. When he got up and did that dude like that, that dude hit him. He went one way and his fucking crack went the other way. He beat the brakes off him in that barbershop. And he beat him so that a couple days later, they walked by each other in the gas station. And he spoke to him. And old boy spoke back to him. He said, I beat him that bad, he didn't even recognize who I was. Now, after this incident initially happened in that barbershop, this particular guy rode around the fucking project for 2 or 3 days in his car, all black, with his little towel dripped over his head, looking for the dude from the barbershop. Yeah. So I already knew who he was because like I said, I had heard his reputation. I made sure to find out exactly what he looked like because at this time I'm already in I got to be 20, 21 at this time. 21, 22, something like that. And I'm watching how everything has changed so much to dudes ain't squaring up no more. Now it's starting to be more and more of this. The last of the squaring up is leaving. So some of these guys and these girls, you got to know who they are. And sometimes you know what? So that second line thing, that was a targeted thing. If you're talking about the one that happened right there on Almanaster, going over the Almanaster Bridge, I think that guy, his mama gave him the gun. Yeah, his mama gave them that gun to go out there and do that. Wow. I knew some pretty bad guys coming up. And this is the strange thing about the story I just told. It's a true story, by the way. Some of the guys with the worst reputations and girls, we never think about the people that know and see them from the other side of it. And sometimes people, I know people may not understand this, because at times we all have been guilty of it. Some of these mass shootings, we start smacking our teeth when we find out that the guy was just a normal guy and he went and pulled out a crime like this. Well, it's like in the hood. Some of these dudes that got some of the worst reputations on the planet was the funniest dudes to be around, and you don't see them like that. And that's the fine line. I can't speak about nowhere else. but I can speak about New Orleans. From us, Gen X's. Some of dudes that when people would see them, they would go inside. Some of the almost like Omar from the fucking Wire. Dudes that had reputations like that, some of them was the best dudes to be around. And even though you knew what they were, or you heard the rumors, or found out later that they were those type of dudes, you still don't remember them like that. I'll throw a name out there. I shouldn't do this, but Telly Hankton. I grew up with all the Hanktons. I grew up with that bunch off Jackson and Danielle. Jackson and Drive. I grew up with that whole bunch. Hanktons, the Carters, the Perkins, the Andersons, all of them. The reputation and the crimes he been convicted of, I don't see him like that. I always remembered him as the one that was red and that always had a fucking smile on his face. I always remember him from the times that we would be at the fucking block parties and he would come out there on his motorcycle doing tricks and shit. All from us fellowshipping because we all knew each other. Josephine Johnny was another one. I grew up with all of them. All of us in the same age group, and all of us grew up in Central City. That Big Frida, I know him back from 36. I grew up with a lot of these guys and girls that got these monstrous reputations. But I know I'm not the only person that feel like that about somebody that has that reputation. That no matter what they got convicted of, I don't remember them like that. When I had heard, probably in 06, 07, that his name was always involved in something, I was like, nah. I just can't see him like that. Not to say that he wasn't guilty of that. I don't know. He's been convicted, so. But just people like that. I just remember them for being. This was the one to be around that was always smiling. For people who may not know, when he wasn't on the microphone, he wasn't into no beef with nobody. Soulja Slim was one of the most approachable dudes in the fucking city. He was one of the coolest. You can go out at a fucking block party and see him out there. He dap you off, you start chit-chatting with him. He's standing there giggling like he's one of the guys. Warren Mays. All these guys was approachable. They had these reputations on them, but they was approachable. You seen their humanity, even though they had an inhumane reputation. And it happens. Sometimes we condemn people for an act or acts, but we never think about what about their family and friends that don't see them like that. And sometimes it can be a hard emotion to get over. It can be a very hard emotion that some dude went up in the church and killed 100 people. And you find out before that, he's never been in no kind of trouble. I can understand where that comes from. You may not like it, but I can understand where that comes from. Especially when you've been around people that have specific reputations. You know, when they get into things, you won't remember them like that. Yeah. And people get in the comment sections on social media and make these kind of comments. But you know what? What about when it comes and knocks on your front door? Because that comment was supposed to be a racially charged comment, but it's a real comment. The school shooters, the church shooters, the drug traffickers, the fentanyl guys, the sex traffickers, there's people that don't see them like that. There's people don't see them like that, even though that's the business they partook in. I mean, Bishop Don Magiquana, that dude is revered all over the damn country, and he used to be a damn gorilla pimp. I mean, they was talking about he was down and dirty on the shit. But there's going to be people that's not going to ever remember him for the negative side of that life. Because the dude carries himself so well. The dude is very soft-spoken. There's people that's been in his company, and he's never probably never used a profanity in front of him. Or he was what he was, but he didn't carry himself like that in front of you. On American Gangster, the story of Cornell Jones, John Thompson, rest his soul, the great John Thompson from Georgetown, talk about, we knew who Cornell Jones was, but he never carried himself like a hoodlum. He never carried himself like certain things, and that he would help pay guys tuition, give money towards their school. See? And was it Colombia? All the things that people remember about Pablo Escobar, there's gonna be people that's gonna see him totally different. Cause they talk about how he took care of people. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought I would talk to everybody and at least get the conversation started. Yeah, I mean, the John Gotti, that community loves him. That community talked about him like he was just the greatest thing to ever take a breath of life when he passed on. So, you know, with that being said, I just wanted to talk to everybody about this gas station debacle and how all the wrong elements in a pot together can cause an explosion. Road rage, testosterone, firearms, somebody looking for opportunity. Yep. That's some in New Orleans, man. In Ego, you're right. In New Orleans, like I said, some of the dudes that had the worst reputations were some of the funnest dudes to be partying with. They were some of the funnest dudes to be at the dances, the concerts, and the block parties with. They were literally there to have fun. So, I appreciate everybody tuning in to this live stream. Make sure you protect yourself. If you have people, especially the young people, that's new to firearms, send them here. Send them to this channel. Send this live stream to them. Hell, send them that video and go over it with them to show them there's more to being legally armed than shooting somebody. It's a whole lot more to it. Because that guy, Hernandez, probably figured, well, if I shoot both of them, I can scream self-defense. There's a whole lot more complication when you're a law-abiding citizen to have the firearm than it is for the criminals. With that being said, I'm going to let everybody get out of here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Until next time, stay safe, stay armed, stay on high alert. We out.